the way to live and to dream, reminding us all to never give in. Round of applause, round of applause. Let's hear it loud, let's hear it loud. Celebrating the ones who stand out from the crowd, the ones who stand out from the crowd. For the ones who lead the way, for the ones paving the way for a brighter day. Round of applause, round of applause. Round of applause, round of applause.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this amazing episode of Round of Applause. I am your fantastic and wonderful host, AYONMAN. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time of joining us on Round of Applause, what do we do here? We celebrate people, individuals, founders who have done positive things in our society. This whole production, this whole episode, this whole show is brought to you by Digits 1024 Radio. So thank you for joining us on this amazing episode. What will we be talking about today? Today, because the signs in the air and the atmosphere in the air is getting closer to the Independence Day for us in Nigeria. If you're watching from anywhere across the world, I'm streaming here from Nigeria, where we will be talking about cultural integration and cultural evolution. What's that whole idea about? Because from time past till this time, we have always had a transference of history, of knowledge, of everything that we have known from our fathers, our parents, down to us. And with the way social media is happening, it seems as if it has been watered down. Nigeria is such a beautiful country with more than 500 ethnic groups and more than 200 languages. And social media has not done justice to the beauty and the essence of who we are. A big shout out to all the actors, actresses who have made sure that they represented culture well in our movies and in our theaters and all the other forms of visual production and also vocal production too. But we cannot put aside the people who have taken the effort to make sure that culture is represented on socials. When I say socials, I mean your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever forms. By the way, when we mention Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you tell someone to tell someone that Round of Applause is live. But we also have so many other entertaining shows on our Digits 1024 Radio platform on YouTube. Remember to plug in. Now, back to what I was discussing about. When we say culture, it's not just a mix of just the knowledge and the history, but also a mix of the food, a mix of the language, a mix of the dressing. You can touch so much when it comes to culture because that's how rich culture can be. But today, I want to duly focus on language. Yes, like I highlighted before, we do have representations across the world in terms of visuals and movies, but a lot has not been transferred into socials. And I wanted to just highlight the few people that I've noticed who have, at least for the last half a decade, have been consistent, have been more than active in those spaces and making sure that some of the cultures have a good form of representation or at least a good voice online. And I may not be able to highlight a ton of people for sure because the internet is such a big place, but at the same time, these people, to me, have done a fantastic job at making sure that they keep language going because the evolution of social has made it seem like English is a global language, but Africa as a whole has so much to offer. I can't even tell you the amount of languages but in Africa, but specifically in Nigeria. I know that we have so much rich quality, beautiful linguals that once you hear them, you're like, wow. So to start off, I will just focus my lens on the three major languages that have been highlighted in Nigeria, which is the Yoruba, which is properly pronounced as Yoruba, the Igbo language, and the Hausa language. For me, my most favorite one is the Hausa. I can't speak it, but it just sounds so beautiful. So to start off, is a guy who I've been following online for close to maybe 2 or 3 years. I've been seeing his content, very entertaining. Mostly because I can understand some of the language, because I grew up in Lagos, and the major language in Lagos after Pidgin English after English, Pidgin English is also Yoruba. But his name is Olalekan, Lekan Olaleye. On Twitter, he is Lekan King Kong. What he does is he reacts to videos giving full-on Yoruba commentary. And when I mean Yoruba commentary, I mean like the core Yoruba, not the watered down, because like I said, the evolution of culture, over time, some of those languages have been modernized, have been twisted, have been changed to be able to fit into our present time. But Lekon goes deep. He'll be using some words. I'm like, I've never heard that one before in Lagos, so I'll have to ask some of my aunties and uncles on what's the meaning of this exact word, And it's very, very informative to be able to get some knowledge out of those content. Entertaining as well, but it's important that he made it a priority to make sure that he was going to describe all those things and run commentaries in the Yoruba language. So for that, Lekan Olaleye, Lekan King Kong, please, we give you a big round of applause. The second person on my list is the Ayo Adams. That's his Twitter handle, but his name is Ayomide Adams. And what he does is to interview people in Yoruba language. Fantastic content. It blows my mind every time I'm seeing him, and it gives people the avenue to be able to show you how rich culture is. He just runs a different kind of platform where he just asks questions to people about different topics of conversation, and he gets their reaction, and it's so beautiful. You hear people. For those of us who have not had the opportunity to go visit, like, the deepest part of Yoruba villages or deepest parts of the Yoruba culture, I hear those things and I'm like, this is fantastic. So well done to Ayomide Adams. And the last one is Folagbade Banks. Folagbade Banks on Instagram, I think the same thing too on Twitter. He's what you call a comedic old auntie. He brings in the vibe of those older generations, and he describes whatever he's acting, his stage play, whatever he's doing. He's trying to just show how our aunties and uncles used to talk to us, giving us that nostalgia feeling of the Yoruba culture. So, Folagbade Banks, thank you so much for doing what you do. But remember, if you are watching this on YouTube, we're also live on Facebook. You can tell anybody to tell anybody to go check out Digits 1024 Radio on Facebook as well and get plugged in. Now we have left the Yoruba culture. Now we're going to the Igbo culture. Igbo Kwenu. To all my Igbo people out there, I know that in music, people know Flavor Nabania, undoubted. He's been a very fantastic representation of what the Igbo culture in his music videos, in his songs, from the beginning of when he started his career till now. Even people, the likes of Casey, has represented the Igbo culture well, especially with his one of his latest songs that he did with I forgot the name of this American group, but Ojapiano is the name of the song. And he did a fantastic job at representing the quality, the I don't even know the English word today, of the Igbo culture into it. And he's been amazing at doing that. So to all those people, we are putting them in a different category. They get their awards every year. They get their recognition. They get all the global recognition that can be given. But these people may never be able to get the recognition because there's no category for them as such to be able to say, oh, this category, we are giving this award. So on round of applause, we want to commend these people. There is a YouTube channel. I was trying to get her name, but I don't think I found it. Is the Ibotic Girl. She's been posting content for probably close to 5 years now. That's half a decade. And she does Igbo tutorials, giving you the translation from Igbo language to English and English back to Igbo so that you can be able to learn and be able to practice to become a better Igbo speaker. So for her, we say thank you so much. We appreciate you. Well done. She is also in the diaspora trying to make sure that she keeps her culture alive. So for that, we give you a big thumbs up. The second person on my Igbo list is Amarachi Atama. Amarachi also does a lot of content in the Igbo language. She does commentary, she does journalistic work in the Igbo language, trying to make sure that a lot of these people get the quality of Igbo speaking online. So if you are interested, of course, let me highlight again. I know I said it before, but I'll say it again. These people are the people I found, I check out, I've been following some of them, and I find them very, very interesting, so fantastic to be able to learn, to be able to connect to their language, to be able to understand. Of course, we have so many languages. There's the Efik, there's the Akwa Ibom. Some of those languages, I don't even know the name. I just know they're from those states, so forgive me. You can also put some of the languages and you think should be commended, or some of the people who you think they should be commended. You can put it in the comment section. We'll be happy to highlight it. I'll give you a shout out on the show the next. So please make sure you add some comments. Tell us who you think, oh, this person is doing such an amazing job representing my culture and my language. But before we go on, we'll go on a quick break. Please remember, you can share. Tell those who have not connected that Digit 1024 Radio is showing Round of Applause live with AYONMAN. We'll be right back.
Never give in. Round of applause. Round of applause. Let's hear it loud. Let's hear it loud. Celebrating the ones who stand out from the crowd. The ones who stand out from the crowd. For the ones who lead the way. For the ones paving the way. For a brighter day. Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. Shining no light on the ones who dare, reaching for dreams without a care, changing the world one step at a time, inspiring us all with their passion sublime. Round of applause, let's hear it loud, celebrating the ones who stand out from the crowd. Round of applause for the ones who lead the way, paving the path for a brighter day. Trailblazers, innovators, and game changers too, proving that anything is possible if you see it through. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things, lifting us up on their wings. Round of applause, let's hear it loud, celebrating the ones who stand out from the crowd. Round of applause for the ones who lead the way, paving the path for a brighter day.
Thank you for joining us back on the show. If you're just connecting with us again, or this is your first time joining us on this amazing show, this is Round of Applause brought to you by Digit 1024 Radio, and I am your host, AYONMAN. What do we do here? We just bring people who are doing positive things in our society that don't get the accolades that needs to be given to them. We want to just highlight them and say thank you for what you do. We see you, we love you, and we appreciate you. What we were talking about before the break was cultural evolution, and we're just highlighting how social media is helping our culture, is helping people who have not gotten the platform to be able to, apart from actors and musicians, basically people who have been representing the culture well and making sure that it's not just watered down or played down because of the evolution and how English is becoming more important, making sure that our languages are very, very pronounced. Maybe one day we'll talk about food, but today on this episode, we'll be talking more and highlighting more languages. We'll just run through the list before we go to the next one. We talked about the three major ethnic groups in Nigeria that are highlighted. Of course, we know that those are not the only ethnic groups in Nigeria. If you're just knowing this, please make sure that you don't put that in your head that it's only three ethnic groups or three languages that we have in Nigeria. We have more than 200 languages, as in more than 200 languages, different dialects, different combinations. In fact, it's mind-blowing, right? So do some research on that. But I said I was just going to highlight just the three major languages that is known to the world. That's the Yoruba, which is correctly pronounced as the Yoruba, Igbo, and the Hausa language. So for the Yoruba, we talked about Lekan Olaleye, who does commentary for videos, basically like reaction videos, but he does major commentary, giving both sides or whatever, how many sides in that video, or how many people are in that video. He makes comments about what they're actually doing and says it in Yoruba language. So thank you, Lekan Olaleye. The second person is Ayomide Adams. Ayomide Adams he interviews people and asks them questions so that people can give their opinions in their native language, which is Yoruba. And Fola Bade Banks, who gives us that nostalgia of how our aunties and uncles used to do back in the days, for all those so-called quote-unquote Gen Z and after Gen Z, Gen Future, Gen whatever it is. Those ones are able to plug into, oh, this is how aunties used to do back then. Interesting, that's beautiful. And then we went to the Igbo people and we said on YouTube, there is the Igboti girl who has been giving content back to back for 5 years, teaching people how to speak Igbo correctly. And she's in diaspora, so kudos to her. Thank you for doing what you do. And Amarachi Atama. So on my Igbo list, I have one more person. Is Yvonne Chioma Umbanifo. Thank you for making sure that you keep the culture alive and teaching people how to speak Igbo correctly, both on Instagram and on YouTube. Thank you for making sure that you keep that quality in the Igbo culture. There is also people like Chimamanda who have writers. We can highlight so many people who are doing so much fantastic work in the public face because everybody knows them. But these people don't get the accolade. I've never heard of a category of best cultural social media person. So for that's why I'm highlighting some of these people. Again, you can put it in the comments, those wonderful people that you plug into on your socials. If you're from Rivers State and you're like, oh, that's Igbo doesn't qualify my own dialect. So please make sure, let's learn, let's connect. Let's also give them a round of applause as well. We're moving to one of my favorite languages. Their culture is so fantastic, to be honest, as in so fantastic. I can speak about them for months, maybe if not for years, but for months. And the reason I love them is because of the fact that they are one of the few cultures that do not change because of social appropriation. They are who they are anywhere across the world. If you meet a Hausa man in US, or you will know this is a Hausa man. Yes, he might be clothed differently because of the weather and all the other stuff. But once you start speaking with him, you will know, oh, this man is a Nigerian. But the Yoruba and Igbo, sometimes, we like to adjust, take on new cultures, adapt to things, if it's a better word. But for the Hausa culture, I've always given them special props because their quality. A lot of people across the world actually feel like the Hausa speak better English than in Nigeria. That is a debate for another day, but we're not doing that on round of applause. So for the Hausa people, Chizo One Germany is his name on Instagram, but Haruna Chizo Salisu is his actual name. He's fantastic at giving stories, opinions, and also good views about his culture. I was just listening to some of his videos. I had to actually get someone to translate because I don't understand Hausa at all. The only thing I know in Hausa is money. So please forgive me. But I had to get someone to help me translate some of his videos, and saw that he has very good quality. And the person who was even translating for me was like, this guy actually, for a young guy, he's speaking like very core Hausa. And I'm like, yeah, these are the people that we should also highlight. Of course, he has been in the northern region. He gets some good notoriety, but for us, we're giving him a round of applause today on the show, saying thank you for all you do. We appreciate you, and we give you special props. And the second person on my list is Dan Bello. His name is Galadanchi.Bello. That's his Instagram handle. And Galadanchi.Bello does a fantastic job at giving perspective from the northern region of Nigeria, the actual situations happening there. He's a journalist majorly, giving us both news, but giving us both positive and happening news at the same time about things that are happening in the northern region of Nigeria. We sometimes also shedding his opinion, but at the same time, he does it all in the Hausa language, notwithstanding whatever anybody says, not thinking about anybody's opinion, and just catering to his culture and making sure that everybody knows how beautiful his culture is. So for these people, we want to give special props to them. A round of applause today. My question to you out there is, are you sure that you're representing your culture well? Wherever you are you trying to adapt to, because I am in this environment, I'm trying to switch so that they don't know who I am? My question to you is why? Why are you not proud of your culture? Have you taken time as well to go and study, go and find out the history behind your culture? Some of it, the beautiful part of our culture is that we forget that we had mythical gods, just like the Greek do. We had a lot of mythical history, and it's so beautiful. Some of these cultures that we have are adopted, studied in some universities, and taught in some schools abroad. There are schools in the States, in the United States of America, and schools also in Brazil that take our culture and teach it to their own children and adopt some of our own culture, integrate it into their own system. So please, whoever you are on the surface of Nigeria or wherever you are, please don't be ashamed of your culture. It's beautiful. It's what makes you, you. It's part of the thing that integrates you into the Nigerian. It's part of your Nigerianness, if I could use that term. So as we're getting closer towards the Independence Day, make sure that you put a big public statement saying, I am from this culture and I'm proud to be Nigerian. Don't be ashamed, because if you do not represent your culture, who will? Don't allow your culture to be extinct. right? Because we are the next generation of people who will be here to be able to teach our own kids as well. We should not allow the global socialization to make us feel like, oh, this is, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed, let us speak English. It will amaze you to know that some global meetings like the UN or whatever, some of those countries, when they come there, the G8, you see some of the presidents not caring about what people think and speaking their language in. That's why some of those people always have earphones. Those listening always have earphones to be able to get translators into those to listen to what the speaker is saying at those particular times. So please, if you know that you have not done a good job at trying to learn more about your culture, or even just learn the language so that you can be able to communicate, of course people will make fun of you because it's a strange concept to you. It's new. You're just adapting to it, But at the end of the day, you will be very proud and you'll be happy that, oh, okay, I can be able to communicate effectively if I go to any of these regions, especially because it's my culture and I learned how to be able to associate with people. So please make sure you put some effort into learning about proverbs, about stories, about history, about, even if you're a foodie, try and learn more about your cultural food, and how it enriches our bodies and how it makes us much more healthier. So please, if you do have people who you think should be praised or should be thanked or should be publicized for the good work that they're doing in your environment, in your society, just put a comment in our comment section. We'll be willing to do a deep dive into who they are, bring them on the show if we have to, live stream with them if we have to be able to share their experience. I'll also give the world, or Nigeria as a whole, let them know that, oh, this kind of things exist and this kind of people are doing this kind of things, to give them that push that they need to encourage them so that they can continue to do the good work that they're doing. So remember, it is still a round of applause. Thank you for joining us today. If you do have a language that you like the most, put it in the comments. I'll be willing to see. I'm actually very curious to know which language sounds the nicest to you and which one has the best when it comes to speaking. And you're like, I like this language. Put it in the comment section. We'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you again for joining us. A big thank you to everybody on the production team, but biggest thank you to Digits 1024 Solutions for giving us this platform to be able to share with the world, and to be able to give kudos to beautiful people who are doing amazing stuff. So until I come again next time, remember to be phenomenal. Thank you for joining us. Have a good one.
So let's raise our voices and clap our hands, honoring the heroes in all our lands. They show us the way to live and to dream, reminding us all to never give in. Round of applause, round of applause.